Now, a quick caveat here, I am recording this at about 11:30 on Saturday morning, so I suspect that the footy media and the national footy media are going to go with Carlton throughout the entire weekend, so I can understand, even if you have clicked on this video, that you might think it's just another Carlton video, but I promise you, I am going to look at this, and yes, this is a bit presumptive based on what I know about the national footy media, is that they're going to talk about pretty much the same three things, and that is, how far can Carlton go in finals, are Collingwood gettable, and how good Charlie Curnow is. I feel like those three things are going to be the topics, but I wanted to actually look at what was going wrong for the Blues in their massive losing streak, what's now going right for them in their winning streak, and the correlation there and the statistics that back up who is truly lifting at the Carlton Footy Club. So this is what has changed at the Blues throughout the last month and a bit. Let's go. And of course, this video is sponsored by Capital Edge Australia. More about them at the end of the video and in the description below. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel, guys, I would really appreciate that. The subs have been going crazy. My aim is 1,500 before Grand Final Day. If you can help make that happen, that would be amazing. So if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button because you are getting this, an entire backlog, and future videos. And who doesn't love that? Right, let's talk about the Blues, Daz, I hear you say. And I will do that. Now, I loved pretty much a lot for what I saw from the Blues. The only part of the game I really had to replay was the second quarter, as I wasn't able to watch it live, but I was really impressed with what's happened at the Blue Baggers, and yes, there is really no excuse anymore. So even the Carlton naysayers, and hey, this guy has been one of them at different points of the last basically 15 years at this point, is that they had the easier opposition, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, North, West Coast, the like. And then they had Port Adelaide when they were effectively resting blokes, which has not worked out for Port Adelaide at all. Now they got the Pies. And they beat the Pies. So, is the form real? Yes. Where they go from here is something I'll touch on a little bit later. But just a reminder of how bleak it was at the Blues. If we take away the North game in round 4 and the West Coast game before the big streak started, the Blues were looking like this, and it really was not good at all. Of course, they couldn't score, and also, they were not defending in between the arcs at all. They were allowing the ball to be walked through not only their defensive half, but their offensive half as well, and leaving their backline absolutely rudderless when it came to not only help, but pressure up the field was enabling opposition forwards to get a hold of them, whether that's as individuals or as a group. It still wasn't working for the Blues. Now, there's been the infamous piss up bonfire, both, and that's cool. I love that. We need more of it in footy. We need a whole lot more of things that used to happen in footy, and having a good old-fashioned piss up with about 60, I hope, not an official number, blokes, whether it's at Torquay, Swan Hill, Surrey somewhere, who gives a shit, as long as these players, especially ones that are going through tough times, are able to gel themselves together, awesome. And we live in a social media society, so that's not happening at things like pubs anymore. They're happening in private areas. Whether that's right or wrong is another topic of this video, but they've clearly turned it around, as you can see via those wins there. And again, they've beaten the opposition they should. Port Adelaide, we're going to present them a challenge, and they have to make the 7 changes. Still a challenge, though, no disrespect to Port, and of course, that win over the Pies. And what I've noticed at the Blues, and the theme throughout this entire thing, is but someone else. I'm going to explain what I mean by that in just a tick. Let's go over the stats first. But just remember, but someone else. Keep that phrase in your head throughout the rest of this little analysis. Let's go to the stats. Now, you can pick 20 different stats when it comes to footy. So if you think I'm cherry picking, or picking cherry, whatever you want to call it, through these, that's fine. I really don't care. But these are some numbers that I think are imperative to the way that Carlton want to play their footy. And what's really impressive here for mine are actually those bottom 2 figures, being marks inside 50, we know the prowess of Charlie Curnow, but also tackles inside 50. The pressure that they are able to put on in their forward half, the Blues, is leading to more and more scoring opportunities, and as we've seen, I should say, they are scoring more. So tick, tick across the board. Now, contested ball clearances, they're things that they are thriving on and wanted to thrive on when things weren't going that well. And the stat that you can't actually see, the observational stat, if you will, is Carlton look better than I've seen them for a very long time behind the ball. Behind the ball. And that's without the ball. Yes, Wiedering and all these guys are doing fantastically down back. But the fact that teams are not bombing the ball out of their defensive half, Carlton's forward area, and are setting up scores is awesome. Carlton are not allowing as many transition goals against poor opposition, which is awesome. Elite, you need to be able to bury bad teams in order to get your percentage and the wins required to play finals. Tick, 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 tick. I've loved it. Now, that's the statistical part done. Let's get to that saying, but someone else. Every single elite player at Carlton that is lifting is a big part of why they're improving. But the other part of why they're improving is but someone else. Let me give you an example. The forward line. Charlie Curnow is kicking bags, but they're tackling more inside 50, the Blues. Their smalls are getting more involved. Tick. Charlie dominating, but someone else is also improving. Sam Walsh before the injury and Paddy Cripps were playing a lot better footy. But George Hewitt was outstanding. Adam Chera has not fallen victim to some inconsistency, I should say, when he was at Freo. He's still dominating. And yes, he did get injured on the weekend, but he's already sewn up their best and fairest, I think, although Charlie could catch him with this run home. So yeah, their elite mids are playing beautifully. But Georgie Hewitt is playing really well. Ollie Hollands and Blake Acres on the wings are holding up. Carlton are setting up really well behind the ball. Jacob Wiedering is playing really good footy. But Mitch McGovern is wildly improving. And his form has been really good. Oh, Adam Sard. Adam Sard has been able to get plenty of metres gained and they're able to set up scores from their back half. Adam Sard, elite player, tick. But Nick Newman has been outstanding. Outstanding. And that's not speaking of someone that picked him up, and I think my dynasty defense as an undrafted player, although I'm very grateful for that, he's been excellent. They haven't really had to go down the number one ruck path, but they're still winning the contested ball and clearances, like I say. So they don't have a superstar ruckman, but Pittonet and Tom DeConning are doing really well. That is the theme for the Blues. David Cunningham, Lockie Fogarty, Jesse Motlop, these guys, the guys that are riding the coattails of their elite players are coming to the party, and that is Carlton's ceiling. Charlie Curnow will not win Carlton a premiership. He can win them a grand final, don't get me wrong. He won't win them a premiership. What's the difference? You need to win finals. And Charlie is not going to win 4 finals in a row on his own. But Jesse Motlop can pop up. Corey Durden, Matty Owies can pop up. And if they play well, Carlton can go further. That is the entire point here. Jacob Wiedering could be the best key defender in the finals. But if Mitch McGovern's opponent kicks 6 and Carlton are bundled out in an elimination final, it doesn't mean jack. That's Carlton's ceiling. Carlton's ceiling is not their 8 best players. It's the other 14. I know that sounds ridiculously simple. And it kind of is. And for Carlton fans and the Carlton Footy Club, that is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. When you know that it really does need to be team first, and your B graders have got to stand up. Maybe your guys who have C grade talent can put in A grade effort and be B graders on the big stage. And you know what? Teams with really good elite B graders win flags. Elite players will play elite football no matter what. A decade, I nearly said century, a decade of Paddy Cripps' career will prove that. But the teammates is what Michael Voss needs to tap into. And right now, they're doing an amazing job. The big change for Carlton right now are the B graders. Going beautifully. And how far can Carlton go? Well, It's up to them. Carlton fans, is the lid off for you? Comment below, let me know. Like the video if you like the video. This has been sponsored by Capital Edge Australia, the leaders in real estate investment property education. They are wanting to get everyday Australians started in their investment property journey, and they don't hold stock, guys. So it's not like they've got houses that they need to sell to you. There's no KPI, nothing like that from higher ups. They are just wanting you to get started and create property through wealth and education. So get involved with Capital Edge Australia, where you can see on the screen and down below. I really like what Carlton's doing. Can't wait to see what they do on the run home. And from here, they absolutely can play finals. Are they a lock? Absolutely not. But it's going to be fun no matter what. That round 24 game against the Giants at Marvel, mwah! Oh, that is going to be so good to watch. But take it easy, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, because, of course, I'm recording this early. Fingers crossed the Hawks get over the line, and I might edit this later to reflect my feelings on that. But have a great weekend. Have a great start to your week. I'll see you on Wednesday night with another video. Goodbye.